All right, let's just jump right in. The ground is literally shifting under our feet. And I'm not talking about a small tremor. This is a massive, fundamental change in how business and work actually get done. And the cause? Yep, it's artificial intelligence. Today, we're going to break down some incredible insights from Alex Hormozi on how to navigate this new world, not just to get by, but to actually win. This isn't about some distant, far-off future. This is happening right now, and it's all about the moves you need to make today. I want you to just let that sink in for a second. Every single AI tool, every chatbot, every image generator you use today, this is the absolute worst, the dumbest, the slowest it will ever be. From this moment on, it only gets better. It only gets faster. And the crazy part is that improvement isn't just a straight line, it's a rocket ship. It's exponential. The progress we're going to see in the next year could totally blow away the progress of the last 5. Just this one idea alone should completely reframe how you think about this technology. It's not a tool you master once, it's a rising tide you learn to ride.
And this is the part that really matters. You know, in the past, you had to make a really bad decision to fail. You had to actively screw up, right? Launch a terrible product, ignore your customers. In the age of AI, you know what you have to do to fall behind? Absolutely nothing. Just standing still, being complacent, telling yourself, oh, I'll get to it later. That is now the fastest way to make yourself obsolete. The effort of learning this new thing feels like a pain right now, but trust me, the cost of not learning it is catastrophic, and it will sneak up on you when it's way too late.
So that brings us to our first section, AI's wake-up call. And let's be real, this isn't one of those gentle alarms you can just hit snooze on. This is the fire alarm blaring in the building. It's a sign that the entire environment has changed, and the old rules just don't apply anymore. It demands a total shift in our mindset, and more importantly, in our actions, starting, right now.
You know, so much of the talk around AI is about all the scary stuff, right? People worry about these weird edge cases, what could go wrong, the whole AI safety thing. And look, those conversations are important, but they completely miss the real, immediate danger for most of us. It's exactly like the early days of the internet. The big risk back then wasn't getting a computer virus. It was being the business that said, nah, we don't need a website. With AI, the real risk isn't some sci-fi robot takeover. It's the massive disadvantage you're creating for yourself by simply choosing not to play the game at all.
And this right here is the human problem, isn't it? We look at this huge mountain of a new skill, and we just imagine this impossible climb. But the reality, proficiency, I'm not talking about being a world-class expert, just being good enough to be useful, that's often just a weekend away. 20 hours. The biggest obstacle isn't the 20 hours of learning, it's all the mental gymnastics we do to avoid starting that first hour. So the message is simple. Just start. Get in there and get your hands dirty. You will learn more in one afternoon of actually doing it than you will in a month of reading scary articles about it. Okay, so you're ready to start. But where in the world do you focus that energy? This brings us to what might be the most important tactical shift you need to make. We have to stop thinking about jobs as these big, solid things and start breaking them down into the actual work that gets done. It's all about the workflows, not the job titles.
This slide right here, this is the whole ballgame. The old way of thinking was, okay, I have a box called editor. I need to find a person to put in that box. The new way is to forget the box. Instead, you define the outcome you want, a finished video, a new client, whatever it is. And then you build a system of tasks to get there. You're not hiring a person anymore. You're designing a result. And in this new world, AI agents can do a ton of those individual tasks, turning what used to be a complicated human process into a super efficient automated system. Let's make this super practical. Take a role like social media manager. That's not one thing. It's actually a bundle of smaller, separate tasks. You have to write the copy, you have to design the graphic, you have to schedule the post, then you have to analyze the data. See? Once you break it down like this, you can see exactly where AI fits in. AI can write 10 different versions of copy in 5 seconds. It can create a dozen different images. It can use tools to schedule everything. And it can analyze the data and spit out a report way faster than any human could. You don't automate the person, you automate the tasks.
So this leads to a pretty direct and honestly urgent challenge for all of us. Whether you're an employee or you own the business, you need to be actively trying to automate your own job. Spend, say, 20% of your time figuring out how to get a system to do the very things you get paid to do manually. Because here's the hard truth. If you don't build the automation that replaces your manual work, somebody else will. The only question is, are you going to be the one controlling that new, powerful system, or are you going to be the one it left behind? Okay, so if you're automating tasks and breaking down roles, where does all of this lead? Well, it leads to this incredibly powerful new idea for the future of work, something Hormozi calls BYOA. BYO. It stands for Bring Your Own Agent. Just picture this. Instead of applying for a job as a marketing manager, you walk into a company and say, I am your marketing department. You don't just show up with your brain, you show up with a whole team of custom-built AI agents that you've already trained to handle the copywriting, the ad creation, the data analysis, the whole shebang. You basically become a one-person army delivering the results of an entire team for a fraction of the cost. This is where the real leverage is for individuals going forward. And if you think that one-person department sounds like something from a sci-fi movie, check this out. That number, 1, that is the entire marketing department at Anthropic, one of the biggest AI companies in the world. One person. Let that sink in. A multi-billion-dollar company at the top of their game in a crazy competitive industry, and they have a marketing department of 1. This isn't some startup in a garage. This is proof of the insane leverage that is possible right now. One person with the right AI systems can do the work that used to take an entire floor of an office building. This isn't a prediction, it's happening. So how do you even build these agents? Well, the biggest mistake people make is they try an AI once, it gives them a kind of mad result, and they go, see, this stuff doesn't work. That's completely the wrong way to think about it. Would you hire a new employee, give them one vague instruction, and then fire them when they didn't do it perfectly? Of course not. You'd train them, you'd give them examples, clear instructions, feedback. You have to do the exact same thing with AI. Show it what good looks like. Give it your best examples. Correct its mistakes. The only real difference is a human might take a year to get really good. An AI can get there in an afternoon. All right, we've gone through the big ideas, the why and the what, but none of that means anything if you don't actually do something. So in this last section, we're going to make it super simple. We're going to turn all this talk into action with a dead simple roadmap for how you can start today. No more excuses. Forget about trying to do everything at once. Here is all you have to do. First, just take out a notepad and write down everything you do in a normal day. And I mean get super detailed, not do marketing, but write headline for email, find image for social post, pull weekly sales numbers. Second, just pick one. Seriously, just one. The smallest, most annoying one. It doesn't matter. And third, open up an AI chatbot and literally type, how do I automate this specific task? It's going to give you a list of steps. Just do the first thing on the list. That's it. You've started. And here is the secret weapon. The thing that removes all the fear of, oh, I'm not technical enough. Anytime you get stuck in that process, anytime at all, just take a screenshot of your computer, upload it to the AI, and ask, what do I do now? Think about how amazing that is. We all have for free an on-demand, infinitely patient AI tutor who can literally hold our hand through any technical problem. The barrier to entry has never, ever been lower. So we'll end on this really powerful analogy. For our entire careers, most of us have been training to be amazing swimmers. We're trying to get better and better at moving through the water. But what happens when the environment itself fundamentally changes? What happens when the water starts to boil and turns into steam? All of a sudden, your world-class swimming skills are completely useless. You're just flapping your arms around in the air. That's the kind of change we're in right now. The basic physics of work are shifting. So the question you really have to ask yourself is this: are you still trying to perfect your swimming technique, or are you finally starting to learn how to fly?